Hello. Welcome to the Goods. I know that you have been looking at us wearing our Fly Goods podcast gear and wondering where can we get those. Well, guess what? We have the answers for you. We have it here, Teespring. Go to Teespring and you will find all of this glorious merchandising, from t-shirts to mugs to, well, there's other toys, but we can't talk about that now. Go to Teespring. Enjoy our memorabilia. And we're back on Flash.
No substance.
So today's top 5 is part 2 of our G.I. Joe top 5 series that we got going on.
Right.
And hey, if there's a part 3, it's because you want it. So you just have to put a comment below and let us know what the hell part 3 should be.
Yeah, exactly. Give us a topic, because I'm reaching as far as what that would be.
But right now it is our part 2 of 2 in our G.I. Joe top 5, and we are going to do vehicles. Now, G.I. Joe's got a lot of friggin' vehicles, both on both sides, both G.I. Joe and Cobra, and it's kind of sad that the bad guys got the cooler.
They got the better vehicles. All the G.I. Joe vehicles were just army stuff, and it was like just kind of adopted over to G.I. Joe. Cobra, they really got to kind of branch out and say, like, what would this terrorist organization actually use that had a Cobra kind of mascot? And that's what made them cool.
All right. Well, with that being said, Terrence, go first.
So guess what? I'm going to give you top 5 Cobra vehicles. After I said that, so let's just get that out of the way. So top 5 Cobra vehicles. All right, number 5. I went with, and this is one of the things that I've always seen, and I know where you guys are going to go. I've always seen it, never had it. Parents can afford it. There's no possible way. I didn't even have a friend that had it, because I know some people have some stories. It was like, I had a friend who had it, and I saw it one day. We went there.
The USS flag.
It is not that. It is the Defiant, the spaceship. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
That thing was just as, I mean, it wasn't as big as the flag, but that thing was big, and it was around a time where, like, I guess, like, we were going to the moon, and like the new space shuttles had come out.
And it wasn't shaped anyway like Bezos.
No. No. I mean, there might be like some offshoot, like, you know, one of a kind, like that's somewhere in somebody's basement.
But G.I. Joe does have a snow job. All right, so go ahead.
It sounds dirty every time you say it.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, so yeah, the stupid spaceship, and it was like it came with like its own little landing thing. Like it came in like a little box thing. You turn it up, it became this little lift-off station.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Joes were gonna use it, but I don't know how Fast 9 went to space either.
That's
so if they were gonna just go to space, that was the best thing to go in, and the thing was huge, so it held like a crap load of Joes. So I love that, even though I never owned it and never actually seen it. I've seen a bunch of commercials and seen a bunch of advertising for it, and I wish that I had owned it, but it was a great vehicle.
All right. Awesome.
Number 4, I went with the I can't remember what they were actually called. Excuse me, I can't remember what they were actually called, but I know that Roadblock always called them the Trouble Bubbles.
The Trouble Bubbles.
This was their little one-maned thing, and it had like the glass shield on top.
Yeah, the gliders.
Yeah.
Not the gliders.
I forget what they were called. I literally forgot what they were called, but I always remember them as the Trouble Bubbles, where they had the one little gun on top.
Yeah, I
and
remember those. They're in the intro.
Yeah, and it's like they would couldn't even really fly. They could just like kind of jet propel for a second and then come down and land, and then jet propel again for a second and come down and land. But it was the infantry vehicle, and that thing was super cool. The way it was designed is like, hey,
the flight pod.
The flight pod. That's what it was called.
The Cobra flight pod.
The little clear case that to kind of guard them. It had a gun on it. They'd shoot lasers, and then they get shot down and parachute out. I don't know why they had parachutes, but but it was cool, and I really loved it.
Okay.
And like I said, Robot, when I was like, oh my God, it's the Trouble Bubbles, and then you knew the fight was on with Cobra.
All right.
I love that thing so much. All right, so number 3. All right, so this is we're gonna get kind of like the normal stuff for vehicles inside of G.I. Joe. I went with the Rattler. I love the Rattler because of the fact that it was it could vertically take off.
Yes.
It was like the wings would fold down and the jet engines
and it would go like straight up and then go.
And then that thing was cool.
Yes,
and it was kind of like an amalgamation of like other vehicles that like the military had, and it was just something that it kind of made up for. And you know, write in the comments below if it actually does exist, because I didn't know the thing really existed. But the thing was super cool, and like I said, Cobra took on like Sky Strikers with it, and it was just kind of back and forth. I felt like it was really
I like
even
the
at
pilots
that point.
too.
Yeah,
the character designs on the pilots.
yeah, and then they'd get shot down and then parachute out. I'm still
and they would land on the flight pods.
and they were like on the flight pods. Anyway, I really love that plane. I felt like that plane was more inventive and creative than the Sky Striker. Like I said, the Sky Striker was just a regular jet that we had.
F-15, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But you really remember the Rattlers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why when Classified wants to come out with a Rattler, that's probably going to be the only vehicle besides the Trouble Bubble that I actually buy.
All right, cool. All right.
Number two.
Number 2.
All right, so here's where we get to the nitty gritty here. We were talking about the Dreadnoks, right?
Okay.
And you talked about like what was one that you said before?
The flag?
No, the Dreadnoks.
Chameleon?
The Chameleon, right? That wasn't the one I had. I looked it up. I couldn't remember the name.
You bastard.
It was the Thunder
Machine.
It was the Thunder Machine.
You took it!
That's the one I had. I love that damn thing.
I don't care.
I love the Thunder Machine at the time because that's like I had all my Dreadnoks hanging off the side of it. I had two vehicles. I had the Thunder Machine and I had whatever that damn like hoverboard swamp thing that they had. I had those are the two damn
They were
vehicles.
chameleons. All of them were chameleons.
All of them were chameleons. So the Thunder Machine and that one was so like I on my which is funny. My bed was water for some reason. I'd ride that thing on my bed and kind of like move my blankets as waves. And then if I was on the floor, we were in the Thunder Machine. We were rolling that thing. It was heavily armored. It had guns everywhere.
Awesome.
And it just kind of hung off the side. It was amazing.
I gotta go to for that, but go ahead.
So in cartoon form, that thing, like, especially because for the most part, if you saw that vehicle, it didn't do much inside of an actual cartoon episode. But when they put it in a cartoon commercial, it looked badass.
It did a lot in the cartoon.
I don't remember it doing much in the cartoon.
Yeah, it did a lot in, I want to say it was in Arise, Serpentor Arise. When it was gonna freaking ram into the cabin where freaking shipwreck was.
Oh, no, I gotta go back and watch.
Alrighty then, never mind. Number 2!
That was number 2. No!
Number 1!
Yeah, because Rattler was number 3.
Oh, that's right.
All right,
Gotcha.
okay. Number 1. So here's the thing, and I was wondering if this really counted as a vehicle, but it actually moved, and that's why I'm gonna say that it's an actual vehicle.
Okay.
Terra Drum.
Dude. I wanted to put it. That is like.
It actually could move.
That
That
is my Loch Ness.
Yeah.
Because I could never, ever get the freaking Terra Drum. I couldn't find that freaking thing nowhere.
This is another one I've never seen in real life. I've seen videos on YouTube of people having it. I don't know a friend that had it, but the thing was amazing.
Yes, it was.
It was absolutely amazing. It was like when you would open it up, it fit everybody. It had a little jail. It had like a little base on the inside. It was like it had like lookout stations and everybody had guns. This is like the epitome. And in the cartoon, the Terra Drum, it was like it was so which it's funny. It's the Terra Drone and the Techno Drone from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it was like basically they're damn near the same damn thing, except the Krang didn't have a bunch of minions.
Right.
So
wait, the foot.
yeah, he did have the foot. I didn't think about that, right? So, why you gotta mess it up?
Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
But the fact that it moved and it was basically like an armored fortress that was mobile.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was a great thing for Cobra. It was probably one of the best things Cobra could have came up with as far as vehicles. They were like, look, we're just gonna build like a tank that's a base. And we're just gonna roll it down the street and see what G.I. Joe does.
Yeah, it was like the Jawa tank.
There you go.
The Jawas.
The sandcrawler thing that the Jawas, yeah. The Jawas, it literally was that. It literally was that. It was a sandcrawler and a techno drum.
Yeah, put it together and there you go. That was a good list.
That's my top 5.
That was a freaking damn good list. Okay, my number 5. Now you had the you had the flight pod.
Yes.
I have the Cobra Fang.
Really?
The helicopter.
Okay.
I like that one, man. It was a one-seater.
Yeah, it was
a
a
one-seater helicopter.
Which is funny. I want to say, look, Cobra invested in their troopers.
Yes, they did.
They didn't say like, hey, like all 20 of y'all riding this one thing get shot down and now y'all are dead. They were like, hey, look, we got money. We got stuff for all of y'all.
Yeah. We know these twins. We know these twins.
We know these twins. They fund us. We got you. We got you. I did forget about that. It was like, yeah, this is one little thing, and I mean, they got shot down all the damn time. But it's like they had their own little thing, almost in a sense, kind of like TIE fighters. It was Cobra TIE fighters.
Yeah, Cobra TIE fighters.
Cobra TIE fighters.
Yeah, and they had the parachutes also when they got blown up real quick.
I forgot about the Cobra Fang. Actually, honorable mention, Cobra Fang.
So there are so many things when it comes to the vehicles of G.I. Joe that pretty much sets them apart from pretty much everybody else.
Right.
For me, as far as play sets that kept me focused and playing and having fun, was the Ewok Village.
Okay. This is number 4?
Castle Grayskull.
Okay.
No, it's not number 4.
Okay.
But this is a vehicle that,
Okay.
in the same regard, that it kept me busy.
Okay.
And that was the Havoc. It was kind of like a tank that G.I. Joe had, and there was like this big glass, and they would be in the glass, and then there would be another part that it would open up, and then it would fly. The thing would fly. The little thing would fly, and it would have because it would house this aerial vehicle inside. So it was 2 in 1. So that thing kept me busy all the freaking time. Like I had so
Wait,
much.
what number are we on?
This is my number 4.
Okay, I asked you if it was number 4. You said no, it's not number 4.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No,
I don't know what you're thinking. Yeah, number 4. But anyway, but yeah, so it was it was a regular tank. It had freaking it had missiles on the side,
I'm trying to remember
and it
this
had
thing.
and it had the back open, and it housed another vehicle that flew, and that thing always kept me busy. And like I said before, those Ewok Village and all the Castle Grayskull and all that, they kept me busy.
Right.
This one kept me busy too. Just the one tank. The one tank that I had always kept me busy. Always had so much fun with that thing. That's my number 4.
I can't remember this vehicle, but I'm gonna look it up once we get done.
You know what? I'm gonna forget.
You gonna look it up right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now because you're gonna put some graphic right now.
There you go. It's like Thunder Tank.
The back of it right there, that was the housing of the vehicle. It would fly. Then he had this thing where he would have the 2
This
cannons.
is very mask-esque.
Yeah, Cross Country, I think was his name.
Cross Country.
I think that was him. But anyway,
mask-esque.
yes, it was very mask-esque. But either way, you know when Hasbro, I mean, I think they did masks too. So there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you have the guy that has the hologram guy that does the motorcycle that turns into the helicopter.
Yeah.
That's the Fang.
It is a Fang.
In a lot of ways, it's the Fang.
It is a Fang.
All right, number 3.
Number 3.
No one can stop the Thunder Machine. That's Thrasher, baby.
There you go.
And
I love that. I love that vehicle.
The Thunder Machine was so much fun, and it was pretty much, it took a page right out of the Road Warrior, Mad Max.
Yes.
It was like seriously something that you know, use po folks and you just threw everything together to make a freaking battle vehicle. You know, the guns were sweet.
Yeah.
You know, they had it almost looked like the guns from Batman's '89.
Oh, yeah.
Where they would pop up. So they had those on the side, and then the best thing about it is, because everybody knows that I'm a big fan of Smokey and the Bandit, the front of the car was a freaking Trans Am. The front of the Thunder Machine was a Trans Am. So yes, Thunder Machine was awesome. I had all of the Dreadnoks, and I put all of them bastards on that freaking thing.
We could have said
It was so much
Knight
fun.
Rider instead of Smokey and the Bandit.
No.
Knight Rider was a Firebird or a Trans Am.
It was a Trans Am, but it was a later model. This was like the Bandit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Either way, it was freaking awesome. Thunder Machine number 3.
Number 2.
Number 2. All right. So number 2, this was also another Loch Ness because I could never get it. Bigfoot. Never seen it. Well, actually, I've seen it.
You see Bigfoot.
Yes. But I've never, I could never get it, and it costed a lot of money.
Okay.
But it was the freaking Night Raven. It was the other ship.
Their
The
stealth
black,
bomber thing.
yes,
Right?
the
Blackbird,
Cobra,
yeah.
the Cobra Black, yeah. I was a big fan of Clint Eastwood's Firefox. Do you remember that movie, Firefox?
Oh,
yeah,
kinda.
yeah. It reminded me of that plane, and I want to say that one detached too, but I don't remember.
I want to say like that one reminded me of like the X-Men Blackbird.
A little bit.
But the only difference is that like you said, like it detached, so it's more like the Ark from was it the Ark? No. The spaceship they flew in Transformers when they were escaping.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It
Okay.
was kind of like that, but it wasn't black.
But yeah, it was beautifully designed. It was black and red. The freaking the Raven pilot just looked flawless. It was smooth. I remember my neighbor had it, and I've said this so many times. Man, me and my cousin, man, we wanted to tear that kid up and take all his shit because he had all the good stuff. We didn't, obviously, but
He's still sitting at home right now.
Yeah.
I still got it.
He's still playing. Look, so yeah, Night Raven, number 2. Number 1.
Number 1.
All right. When I was young, and this is completely off topic, but there's relevance.
Okay.
When I was young, I asked my mom for 2 things that I got a lot of crap for. The first one was Michael Myers' original mask.
Okay.
It was $70.
Ooh.
She said,
Jeez.
She said, I'm not going to buy that for you because you're only going to wear it one time, and that's it. I said, in my head, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm going to wear it every effing freaking Halloween.
Except you would wear it one time and then you never wear it.
Yeah. No, but I would. I really would because that's my favorite killer of all time.
All right.
So I never got it.
Okay.
And the second thing that she always turned me down.
$70 back then?
Yes.
Jeez.
The second thing that she turned me down, and I never got anything to this day, is the USS flag.
I want to meet the parents of the kids who actually bought them a USS flag.
The USS flag
I've seen it.
is huge.
I've literally seen it. It was at a comic book store. So I've literally seen it in person. I've seen it. The thing is fucking huge. It was way too big for any kid to actually have. And then you could put sky strikers on it. That's how big this thing was. Is you can actually put a full-size vehicle on top of the damn thing. And the
Multiple.
Yeah, and it was what was it like almost $200 when the thing came out back then. That's like saying like I'm gonna buy you a $600 toy now. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And I was like,
this was Turbo Man before Turbo Man.
Exactly. It's like I can't believe that they sold this thing and marketed it to us to ask our parents to buy. There was no possible way they were gonna buy it. So the people who actually got this thing,
good for you.
Kid, your parents were rich.
Either that, or they just did not want your ass to bother them for shit.
Yeah, just leave me alone. Go play with that $600 toy, or go play with the flag. Go play with the flag.
Yeah, that is one thing.
But it was a status symbol that you can say, I got a USS flag.
Yeah, I always wanted that thing. I could never get that thing, not even used, not even as an adult, and now it's worth like a crap load of money.
It's so bad.
So you
now.
can't freaking even get it. But
if you got it, you better put it in your garage because that's the only place it's gonna fit.
Yeah, but that thing was now you want to talk playset? Now that was a freaking playset.
That was a playset.
The Terra Drum was another one that I wanted, but that one, man, the USS flag was just like you just couldn't, man. It was just too much money. It would have been a hell of a lot. It would have been a hell of a ride.
And the fact that if you got it, now you got to buy Sky Strikers.
You gotta buy Sky Strikers, and you gotta buy a crap load of vehicles. And Joes. You got so many Joes you gotta put on that thing. Yeah. All right, honorable mentions.
Oh, God bless. So honorable mentions. Let's go down the list. I did put the Cobra Fang because you mentioned it, and I didn't put it on my list before, so it's not on there.
Yeah.
I did put a Sky Striker because as much as I'm not a big fan of Sky Strikers, it's the most iconic vehicle from G.I. Joe, right?
Yes, it is.
That was their plane. That was their plane. That was their counter to the Rattler. I also put on there. I put the flag on here. But
how's it not in your top 5?
the flag?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, it was a thing that is unimaginable to me. It's like
Okay,
I knew about it. It was in pictures. I didn't think it really existed. It wasn't until like YouTube now that I saw people who had it, and I was like, oh my god, it's as big as I've always thought it was as a kid. Because you remember, like, sometimes you're like, oh my god, it's huge, and then you see it, it's like, oh, it's not that big. I thought it was so much bigger as a kid.
Yeah.
Seeing it in real life now, you're like, oh my god, it's so fucking huge. Anyway, but one of the ones that I put on here that we didn't really talk about was the Hiss Tank. That was Cobra's tank.
I was gonna talk about that one. Yeah.
So
and I was going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to put the Hiss or the Fang.
I couldn't put that in my top 5. I forgot about the Fang.
It was fun though.
Fang might have actually.
Because the Hiss was fun. That was a fun tank. And
so when you talk about like the whole like the window comes up and like all the stuff.
That one really did look like the Jawa tank because of the way it was shaped.
So, and that was like their heavy artillery one that they did, and it was like it showed up in so many different cartoon episodes. So that one is a very iconic vehicle for Cobra. I just had other ones.
You know what? I should replace the Fang and put the Hiss on there. Honestly. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That was it.
Okay, I had Serpentor's Chariot.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about
cool.
that. I feel like Serpentor never walked anywhere. I feel like he just rode the chariot. He's basically like Teddy Roosevelt, or is it Frank? No, it was Ted. No, who's the one that was in a wheelchair? Was it Franklin or Teddy?
Oh, what are you talking about?
President.
Oh, I think it was Teddy.
Okay. Yeah. So
he was Charles Xavier before.
Yeah, he was Charles Xavier. He was there. You go. He was Charles Xavier with a hood cloak.
Okay.
with a Cobra cloak.
Okay. Also the pods, since you brought up the pods. Okay. I like the Devilfish. The Devilfish was the small little boat, the one-man boat that.
Where they kind of went underwater.
Yeah. No. That's a shark. Okay. That was a badass one too. I had that one. That's the one that came with Deep Six.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And the Devilfish was more. What was the other diver? Was it Wetsuit? He was
Wetsuit
one.
was a
Wetsuit
diver.
was one.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other one. I'll have to look that one up. All right. Wetsuit was the black and gray one. I'm talking about the.
Somebody had the old school like scuba diving.
No, it
mask.
wasn't. Wetsuit is the one with the orange mask and the aqua suit.
Yeah, so
That's Wetsuit.
They upgraded him later and they took him out of that.
Yeah, well, the wetsuit was mainly the driver of the Devilfish.
Okay.
Because Torpedo was the black and silver.
Torpedo, that's
the
what
other
it was.
one. Yeah, there you
Okay,
go. All right.
Torpedo, that's what it was.
Okay, I had Zartan's Chameleon. I had the Cobra Rattler. I had the Dragonfly. Because Wild Bill fucking dug that one.
Oh, that's the.
And
I
what I
feel
like-
like he was the only one that fucking that. I feel like he was the only one that ever flew Dragonfly.
Yeah, and what I liked about him too is when you had the toy was you can put your thumb on that and it would actually spin
the blade.
Spin the blade. So that was cool. I never got the Tomahawk, but I love the Tomahawk. The Fang Boat, we saw that one earlier. That one was cool. The Sky Striker, obviously. The other boat, the other one that they got, the other G.I. Joe airplane that they got around that Serpentor era, the Conquest.
Okay.
You remember that one, the black and white one that had it was like it would come out like this. It looked like a W, kind of a little bit.
Oh, I thought of one. When they brought back Cobra Commander, I still don't remember how they fixed him. I gotta look that up because the episodes are all on YouTube now. But when they brought back they reintroduced when he had his whole new faction by himself with Python Patrol. When
Is this when he was all metal?
yeah. When he had the little thing.
The metal with the
and it's
with
like
the
they
gas
didn't
in.
explain why he went back to white person face when he had like blue alien reptile skin.
And he had eyes
And
everywhere.
it's like they never really explained that. But that's but I like all the vehicles they did for Python Patrol because they did this little snake outline or like covering on all of them. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. And then the last one was another one that I couldn't get that I always wanted, and that was the freaking the killer whale,
I have no idea what that is.
the hovercraft.
Oh, okay.
The big ass hovercraft that would actually
Probably
float.
hold like 50 Joes.
It would float in water. It would float in water, and then it would actually roll on the grass, on the ground.
I feel like all of the vehicles that they produced for G.I. Joe that was supposed to be like water vehicles, all could do it.
Why do you say that?
Because like I said, I've had boats. I've had boats for G.I. Joe.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like they all floated. Like I've been in the bath and it's like, bring my G.I. Joe shit. Let's get in the water. And they all float. So I feel like Hasbro did a really good job back in the day in producing these toys that I almost don't feel like they do nowadays.
They don't take the time. Like there's not.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, it's just gonna be sitting on somebody's shelf. It's not gonna ever actually be played with. And I think back then they knew we were gonna play with it, so they built it to actually be played with.
Yeah, and that is the hovercraft.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right.
Anyway, so that was my honorable mentions.
All right.
All right, Terrence, take us home.
Okay, so look, we all play with a bunch of toys from G.I. Joe, and it's like, and not only did you actually have to play with it, but it's like most of the time we got to see these things on screen in different episodes of G.I. Joe, so we kind of like built up like, oh my god, I really want, or I wish I had type deal. So make sure when you're putting your list, you don't have to limit it to things that you actually owned or things that you actually saw, but if you remember it in an episode of how much you really wanted it, put it in your top 5 list below. Like take some of the stuff that we talked about, take some of the things that you remember from your childhood, and make us a nice good list to put in the list, put in the comments below. Also, too, make sure you subscribe as well as click the notification button so that way you're aware of all the other things that we do on the channel. I can feel you right there to talk.
It's like double dutch. You know, you get in there. Hey, there's tons of vehicles, like he was saying. Throw them on there. Throw them in the comments below.
Definitely.
And if we missed anything, or even let us know who got the better list, put that on there before.
I put the Defiant on my list.
If there, there's a lot of things obviously from the 80s, and you know, especially these kind of toys, you know, these throwback toys that we used to play with, that might be new to you. So hopefully everything that we explained in these last 2 G.I. Joe episodes of Top 5, it's kind of like brought them up to light.
Yes, definitely.
And now you know.
And no one's half the battle.
There you go. For Aspen and I, wherever the hell they're at, and Carlo over there on the couch doing nothing, I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And we'll see you next time.
Real quick, if you're still here, because we do these into the video little blooper things. If you're still here, look down. There's a link here for Patreon. If you guys like the show, please give us money. Give us money. We'll take a penny. We'll take a nickel. We'll take a dime. We'll take a dollar. We have some stuff on there that we're giving away on Patreon if you do contribute, because trust me, we need help. We need help. We want to buy new equipment, and we need an editor. Somebody who doesn't have to stay up in the middle of the night. Or they don't have to stay up in the middle, but I won't have to do it. So please, down patreon.com/thegoods. It's in the link. Please do it. We appreciate it.